Welcome into the TV version of Strategies for Living. I'm marriage and family therapist David McMillan with a guy that I go back a long way. We were just visiting Dr. Ron Key. The first time that you and I did radio together, the radio program together, 1992, you were on in the first year of the radio program.
I was at Fairfield Hospital, and I subbed for Doug Morgan.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
There actually were 4 hosts at that time, and I was
you were rotating in and out, and there for a while. It was right around, what, 2000 maybe?
8 years we did it.
We did, yeah. You were almost a regular co-host for a little while. Well, welcome to Strategies for Living. You're not here as co-host of Strategies for Living. You're here in your capacity as the founder of Woody's Home for Veterans. And you know, you told me years ago, back when we were doing the radio programs, you told me about a dream that you had. And you told me just a little bit about Woody. Would you share a bit with our viewers about Woody? Woody was your daddy, and he was a veteran. What do you want to tell us about Woody?
Well, he was, there's so much to tell, but he was a simple man about that. He was one of 15 kids.
Wow.
They were sharecroppers, and they actually worked on my mother's father's farm, and that's how they met. So that was the scandal of the day. That
the scandal of the
son married the farmer's daughter.
But,
had 7th grade education. My grandfather, who I never met, he died in the 40s, thought the kids needed to learn to read, write, arithmetic, and then put them in the field. And he went to work in a textile mill. War started. He was born in 1919, so he was 21 when he went to war. But back then they had some kind of vocational test, which they still do, and with a 7th grade education, somehow he was attached to the University of Virginia Medical School.
Wow.
And he was designated a male nurse and put in a MASH unit, and which is, you know, the Mobile Ambulatory Surgical Hospital.
Right.
And served in North Africa and Italy in the 5th Army under General Mark Clark. And that was his military history for 4 years. Came home, had a family, there was 3 of us, and after, when he started getting sick, he worked initially at the Savannah River site, which was the first nuclear site after the Manhattan Project. He worked there for like 10 years to help build it, then went on his own, was a carpenter, which kind of ironic with the name Woody. And then with about 10 years left in his life, he went back to work there to get his retirement. But he always kept his VA benefits, and if he had a choice, he went to VA. And that's back with indemnity insurance plans. You remember those?
Right. Oh, yeah.
He could have gone and had 100%.
Coverage anywhere, but he went to the VA.
Yeah. And that's actually where he died. And during that whole process is where the idea was born. While we were at his viewing, he died in 1997 in a VA hospice. And he had cancer, and he was 27 years cancer-free, then he came back with the vengeance. But at the viewing, 2 gentlemen came up to me and said, "You must be Ronnie," and shook my hand. And I hadn't been called Ronnie since I was 5.
Since you were a little bitty, yeah.
And I said, "Yes, I am." They said, "Well, your dad was a good soldier." And I'm not a veteran. I was Vietnam era, but the draft number was too high, the whole thing. But so we went home, and I talked to a couple other veterans. They said, "That's as good a compliment as you get."
Yeah.
But I asked my mother and my brother, I said, "How long have you known those guys?" And for 52 years, they stayed in touch. None of the 3 of us, Mom, my brother, and myself, ever knew they existed.
Wow.
And they just had something that I still don't understand, but a brotherhood or a camaraderie that it just blew me away. And then when Daddy died, there was something that I wanted to give back. I've been blessed, and he was like I said, a simple man, deacon emeritus in local Baptist church, stern but soft-spoken.
Right.
Yeah.
He did not have the issue that many veterans have, and the mission of Woody's Home for Veterans, your dream in starting it, is you've got a lot of people who have been good soldiers. They've served their country well, and but they don't have, unfortunately, for a number of reasons, a stable home environment. They, especially mental health, mental health and psychiatric care. And that is the mission of Woody's Home for a Veteran, right?
And as you know, whether they're veteran or not, so many chronic mental illness, the people who suffer from that are throwaways.
Right.
People don't know what to do with them. Families don't know how to handle them. A lot of ignorance out there. You know, somebody says somebody's paranoid, schizophrenic, or bipolar. I mean, they just,
Back away from that.
And so many of the people that are on the bridge or in the rescue mission, stuff like that, are veterans, chronically mentally ill, with a substance abuse problem.
With no place to go.
No place to go. And we're the last house on the block. They've been through the VA. They've been sent home. Either they don't have a home to go to.
They don't have family, as you know, as you well know from.
Well, these Vietnam era guys are now in their 60s.
Yeah, and so many of their families don't understand. You just alluded to that. And if you don't understand, it's just like family drops off just a bit at a time. So you can wake up one day literally with no place to go, nowhere to go, and no family left that can be stable for you. So that's what Woody's is all about, to provide that stable environment. And you started with one house, right?
Yep.
On Jordan Street in Shreveport.
442 Jordan, old adolescent centers. If people remember any of those, the
Adolescent Treatment Center that was run by the council.
And it closed in '89.
Right.
And we bought it in '02 and opened in '03, admitted our first patient. Actually, last month was 10 years ago.
Wow, congratulations. And now you've expanded to two.
Yeah, we have two homes.
Two homes right next door to each other on Jordan Street. And it's a stopgap, right? Because the VA does a great job, but the VA doesn't house veterans. It's they treat them and release them back to family. But what if, in the case, as we were talking about, there's no family to go back into?
Well, we're called, or licensed as Community Residential Center, which is one step below, 2 steps below a nursing home, 1 step below assisted living. So we have 24-hour staff. We offer them, or give them medications, but they literally can come there without a penny, never need a penny. The only thing they ever have to pay for, if they smoke, they buy their own cigarettes. If they drink sodas, buy their own sodas.
But I know this for a fact. You will cart them down to Walgreens to be to do that.
Yeah,
I know
that's
that
where
for
we
a
saw
fact
each other.
because we reconnected in Walgreens, and I think you were running the you had the cigarette run.
That was my run.
There are 107,000 veterans out there that are homeless. That is a national nightmare, isn't it?
It's a disgrace.
Yeah.
And these figures, David, that we're talking about, I gave you, they're 10 years old.
Yeah. So it may well.
Well, you got to think about Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, and that's going to be the next wave. Now, what we don't know is how long the process we described earlier, inpatient, outpatient home, how long that process will be. But the youngest client I've had is 27 years old.
We know almost a quarter, 23% of homeless people are indeed veterans. That's amazing.
And 47% of the people coming back from Iran and Iraq and Afghanistan are reporting mental health issues. Now, issue can be anything from depression to PTSD, but the first time in a long time, or maybe ever, that we as a country and we as a military owned it. This is messing our people up. Before, PTSD didn't exist. Agent Orange didn't kill. Napalm, didn't scar. I mean, and then we finally admit it, and if we admit it, we can treat it.
Right. Now, you say people can come literally with no money in their pocket, and they can just show up, and they don't need any money. What do we need to know about what Woody's Home for Veterans provides?
Okay. What we do is, if someone just shows up on our steps, we do route them through the VA so they can get their VA benefits. The way the VA works is they have a separate program called Aid and Assistance. And if you can get them into the VA system, they have the benefits.
They have all their medical, so they can get all of their medical care.
And based on their multiple factors, but length of service, honorable discharge, if it's duty related or non-duty related. They can
Do
be.
we know of the 23% that are homeless? Do we have any idea how many of those have psychiatric, emotional problems that are secondary to being duty related, or do we know?
We don't,
that?
because the substance abuse and the mental health and then what they saw is all intermingled.
Right.
But we do know, as in the general population, the comorbidity of the psych and the substance abuse.
It's
Because if
high.
you got substance abuse figures instead of psych,
Right.
it'd be the comorbidity would be so high with the mental health.
Now, you started your career as a mental health, in mental health as a substance abuse counselor. You went back to school, you got your degree so that you could take care of the comorbidity. You could do the mental
Well, as
health.
you know, every day, 50% of people you're going to see one or the other.
You're going to see one or the other. But it's important to treat the primary. So it's important to get the substance abuse under control so that you can really know
what you're
then
looking
what
at,
you're
yeah.
dealing with and what's going on. Now, you mentioned a few minutes ago, Ron, some pretty hefty diagnoses. Schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, depression with psychosis. And those are things that many of us would be frightened about, of. But those are very treatable with the correct medicines and the correct treatment. Those people can be productive members of our society, can't they?
Well, the thing is, I've got, let's see, 3 guys at work.
Wow. They live at Woody's Home for Veterans. They go
Work part-time.
and then come back, and they have a stable home environment.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
one of those, David, actually has a closed head injury.
Wow.
Both high functioning.
Wow.
But it's giving them a shot. And all those every staff member I got, first of all, if you come there, you're going to fall in love with them. But second of all, is, wow, I thought people with schizophrenia, blah, blah, blah.
Well, let's get a quick break. We'll come back.
Okay.
We're talking to Dr. Ron Key today, Woody's Home for Veterans. We're going to tell you how you might be involved and some things that you don't know, some exciting things that are happening currently at Woody's Home for Veterans. Dr. Ron Key, our life strategist today here on Strategies for Living. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Thanks. You believe this guy?
Are you trying to start a wildfire?
Sorry. Pass the honey?
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Storms come up fast. Storm protect your family now. We want you to know a safe room or storm shelter can provide the highest protection for your family during tornadoes and other severe windstorms. To learn more about how you can protect your family and property from storms, visit getagameplan.org and click on Mitigation Plan. Louisiana, we can do this. This mitigation message brought to you by the Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness.
In 1977, in Johannesburg, South Africa, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. By the age of 9, he was already outplaying him. The odds of this gentle lad winning the Junior World Golf Championships at the age of 14, 1 in 16 million. The odds of that same boy then making it to the US and European Pro Golf Tours, 1 in 7 million. The odds of the Big Easy winning the Open Championship once and the US Open Championship twice, 1 in 780 million. The odds of this professional golfer having a child diagnosed with autism, 1 in 110. Ernie Els encourages you to learn the signs of autism at autismspeaks.org. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference.
What if you could unleash your child's creativity while preparing them for a successful future? What if you could ignite your child's love of learning with one after-school program? What if that one program was easy and fun and taught critical thinking, teamwork, and communication? Destination Imagination is the one. Destination Imagination has been teaching kids teamwork, creativity, and problem solving for more than 25 years. Our students report increased ability to excel at school. Teachers report better attention and participation in our students. A major university study has documented how our students are ahead of others in creativity and innovation, skills that employers want and our future needs. To learn more about Destination Imagination, go to www.startateam.org and make Destination Imagination the one for you.
Welcome back to the television version of Strategies for Living. I'm marriage and family therapist David McMillan. My guest today, Dr. Ron Key. You're watching Ron and I here on Strategies for Living, but it all started as a radio program, and it's still going on to this very day, 20 some odd years later.
I was about to say, how long?
20 some odd years. News Radio 710 Keel, Sunday mornings between 9:05 and 10 is where you can find the original radio version of Strategies for Living. You can also go online, www.strategiesforliving.com.
Something I got to tell you, and I'm going to interrupt you, but
Okay.
when Mom died in 2009, we were going through her effects, and she always liked for me to send her tapes.
Oh, yeah,
She
yeah.
had 6 cassette tapes.
Of
me
Strategies
and
for
you.
Living.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I'd love to hear those
Yeah.
shows.
Well, I got them at the house. So.
You know, one of the things, Ron, can I climb up on my soapbox for a moment?
Yep.
Folks, will you let me climb up on my soapbox? Yeah. All of us talk about, we thank you for your service. We go and we'll go to our Walmart store and we'll buy a bumper sticker that says support your veterans. Well, 100% of that money goes to Walmart or whoever sold Walmart that bumper sticker. If you really want to help veterans, let me tell you what to do. Woody's Home for Veterans is a 501(c), which means they're nonprofit. Means that you can get a tax deduction for donating, and 100% of that money goes to help veterans right here in our local community. So we're talking Shreveport, Bossier City. You don't have to send your money off. Let me tell you something else that I think is just absolutely stellar about Woody's Home for Veterans. You made a decision years ago that you were not going to have people get on the phone and make phone calls and say, hey, support Woody's Home for Veterans. How does it happen? How does it get supported? Just like this, word of mouth. David telling my friends, putting it, and that's the way it happens.
Yeah.
And so if you're watching us right now and you want to support veterans, contact Woody's Home for Veterans. How do you do that? www.wh4v.com.
Yep, and the phone number's on the back, David. And we also we've set up to take credit cards, and we can do automatic debits.
Local number 425-1928, if you want to call them. Go online, and so it's at 442 Jordan Street in Shreveport.
And like us on Facebook.
And like
I just learned that.
There you go. Now, you've got some big news.
Yes.
Some recent big news about the local people helping local people.
It's kind of the God works in mysterious ways.
Yep. And by the way, you're faith-based, aren't
Yes,
you?
yes,
You're
we
one
are.
of one of the faith-based organizations that President Bush made possible.
Yeah,
when
we
he came into
actually had
office.
a casino, one of the local casinos when we first opened, wanted to be our corporate sponsor. And it was significant. It was $75,000.
Wow, that is significant.
Especially whenever you're begging, borrowing, and stealing. But we chose not to go that direction because that would cut out, we felt like it would not represent our faith base. It would cut out our churches to do it. And as we know, any corporation, I don't care who it is, once you've served your purpose, you're no longer needed.
Right.
And this is a mission and a love. This is not a business
Right.
promoting
This is you giving back in the name of Woody, your daddy.
Unfortunately, I got to say, what would Daddy have done?
We're
We're proud, yeah.
There you go. So what's the news? What's the big news coming up?
We had, I did a debriefing, as you know, and that's probably the number one thing I do is critical incident stress debriefings. And I did one for Home Depot and got talking to the manager, and they do an annual local event. Well, this year's focus was veterans. And they decided that they were going to try to go big. All they could do was tell them no. Well, they went big and they said yes. And we awarded a $24,000 grant for improvements. Chesapeake is chipping in employees to help.
The energy company, Chesapeake.
And then 20th and 96th Bomb Squadrons are shipping in. And besides the 24,000, they've gotten vendors that are chipping in their time. And then they've got over 20 employees that's going to take a day off on their own nickel.
Wow.
To come help. And then we've got the 8th rank, and I know you'll be there, barbecue master in the world.
Oh, I definitely will be there. You're speaking my language
that's right.
now.
We'll be there cooking for the volunteers. So we're not selling plates, we're not giving away, but just this person again heard about that person, and this one heard about that. Someone donated all the chickens to him, and it's really touching because it is one after another.
All right, now I want to ask you, Ron. I know this is you and I, as we've established, go back a long way.
We both had solid color hair back then.
Yeah, exactly. I know this is from your heart. Tell me from your heart the difference that you've seen Woody's Home for Veterans make in men's lives. Men and women are veterans. You're strictly a male organization, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe you can continue to
We've
expand.
actually been approached about that, but as you know, with treatment issues, you would have to have a separate house.
Maybe one day in the future.
Yeah.
But right now, it's Woody's Home for Veterans. So what have you seen? The difference that the stable environment makes in a guy that has fought for us in Vietnam, has fought for us in Iran, Iraq, the first Gulf War. What have you seen?
The biggest, two things come to mind. I had two gentlemen that had terminal illnesses. And the VA does provide hospice care and will, provide it at Woody's.
Right.
One, excuse me, had gotten so ill he had to be hospitalized. And they got him stable and was going to put him in a nursing home and hospice go there. He said, no, I'm going home.
I want to go home.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And a second gentleman did the same thing. So they felt that was their home. That's where they chose to pass.
Wow.
And then I knew...
You can't get any higher than that.
I knew with them we had done our job. Yeah. Because they could have got better care, quality care. They couldn't got the love and prayers.
Right.
And fuss at us and throw books at us, and we still bring them a glass of water because...
You become like a family, don't you?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. So,
And David, one thing I need to tell the audience is I have to screen everybody, and I turn down probably 25% of the people sent to me because I will not let an active substance abuse or someone actively violent. Because these guys, this is going to be the home
This
of
is
their
their
life.
home.
Yeah. No more than I would say.
So this is the place where we do Thanksgiving and we do Christmas. And it's making a difference.
Oh, that's
one life
I'm
at a
glad,
time,
yeah.
isn't it?
I had a guy there that Christmas before last. It was his first new jacket ever. He's a Vietnam vet.
Wow.
He'd always had jackets.
Yeah.
But they were pass downs.
Yeah.
And he had his first new jacket ever. Another guy got a new pair of tennis
I would have
shoes.
loved to have seen that guy's face.
Oh, he cried.
Wow.
And this is a big burly.
Yeah.
And then some of the stories you get from the guys, and with
Do you take
schizophrenia,
volunteer? Are there? But I know we need money,
Yeah.
and we've talked about that. We'll give the website and the phone number again. 501(c) nonprofit. But do you take? Can people come and donate? Their time and energy.
Time, energy, and we tell people if you can't give anything else, give us your prayers. But what we need on our three biggest expenses is labor. We're 24/7, 2 locations.
Right.
It's food. We got to feed them.
Right.
And then
Got to
obviously
provide 3 meals and snacks.
and 2
every
snacks
day.
a day.
Okay.
Yeah. And then is utilities. These homes were built in the 20s.
Yeah.
That's one reason Home Depot's coming in.
We're talking about the two-story homes that all of us see.
3,800 square
Jordan
feet and
Street.
3,500.
So those things are beautiful.
Yeah.
And you are in 2 beautiful homes, but there's insulation and cracks
windows
and
crack,
creaks
yeah,
and all those kind of
Yeah.
things that have to be taken care of.
But just like Ream donated a 6-ton unit through Home Depot, another company sent out their licensed AC guys to do it because Home Depot was involved.
I love it. Okay, if you want to help veterans right here in our community, Dr. Ron Key and Woody's Home for Veterans is the place to go. How do you do it? You can call them 425-1928, 425-1928, or you can go online, www.wh4, the number 4, V, woodyshomeforveterans.com. And we dare to care is the motto.
And that's what I'm asking you to do, is
Yep.
dare to care.
Dare to care.
And that's a step forward.
So nothing against going and buying the bumper stickers, but again, think about what you're doing and think about where your money goes. Your money can stay right here helping veterans in Shreveport and Bossier City, and we don't want somebody under the bridge. We don't want somebody down at the river in a box when they can have a stable home environment at Woody's Home for Veterans. So if you know of someone that might be a wonderful candidate for Woody's Home, 425-1928. Dr. Ron Key, thank you so
As
much
always,
for the work
David,
you're
a pleasure.
doing. Thank you for coming and being a part of Strategies for Living.
Thank you for having me.
Folks, thank you for coming and being a part of Strategies for Living. And don't forget the radio version, News Radio 710 Keel, 9:05 to 10 every Sunday morning. Until next time, for Dr. Ron Key, I'm marriage and family therapist David McMillan. See you next time on Strategies for Living.